Hello, my name is Jay Damle, and I'm the author of the book on schedule delays. Why do they happen and how to avoid them? The book is available on Amazon. I also have a website, www.bookonscheduledelays.com. Please visit the website as there are a few free bonuses available for you when you visit the site. In the last two chapters, we discussed the internal factors which are internal to your project and company organization, which can cause schedule delays. In this video and chapter, we'll talk about the external influences which are causing the schedule delays or which can cause the schedule delays. First, the client influence. Your first thought might be, since the client is paying the bills, it is in their best interest to finish the project early, so why would they cause schedule delays? In many instances, it is true. However, you do need to be diligent and establish clarity from the contract formation stage to the completion of what the client as well as your responsibilities are, and follow them through them towards that goal you need to establish a basis and assumptions document. This must be part of your baseline schedule submittal package to the client for approval. It must clearly identify what the client responsibilities are for providing accurate and timely information to the contractor. Second, ensure timely client approval of the key contractor's staffing positions. Many times, the client insists that they approve key senior contractor positions on the project. In such instances, the specific approval time interval needs to be mentioned in some formal communications to avoid delay in bringing your key staff onto the project. Third, ensure timely client approval of the contractor's design documents. Once the contractor submits the design documents or other important documents for approval, they must be approved by the client within the contractually agreed approval time durations. Any delays in this area should be recorded. Let's continue to discuss the client influences. Is your project schedule driven or cost driven? Your project execution strategy will depend on whether your project is cost or schedule driven. One of the worst things that can happen to your schedule is change in the strategy from schedule to cost driven or vice versa because of client requested strategy changes. Please go to my website and my book to learn more on these. Ever-changing project scope. If more project scope is added by the client without adding more execution time, it leads to schedule compression. Any scope revisions in the midstream can be equally harmful. You just need to be diligent about it and make record if the scope changes. Client requiring more details in your schedule than planned. Some additional details can of course be accommodated as the requests come in from the client. But what I have seen in many cases is there is an onslaught of additional details that the client is requesting in your schedules. And if this happens, then pretty soon these can render your schedules unmanageable, and you will be updating your schedules with impact on the quality of your schedules. Additional schedule analysis demands from the client. With your limited planning staff, you may have additional stress on your organization due to overtime required to support your work, or you will end up producing less quality reports. All of these topics are discussed at length in my book. Please visit the website and to get a copy of my book. Vendor or vendor subcontractor related delays. Vendor data submittals. Know what your commitments are to provide vendors with the design specification data. Complete them on schedule or ahead of schedule of stipulated commitment dates. And then follow through on their commitments to you. Any delays on the vendor's part in this area can and will cause schedule delays. Vendor fabrication delays. On large projects, long lead equipment and material items can take longer than 12 to 24 months of fabrication and transfer to work locations. Your planners must keep an eye on the vendor fabrication progress and at least once a month to detect schedule delays and take the corrective action. You may have to monitor this even at a more frequent level than the monthly report, especially these long lead items happen to be on or near critical path, which will not allow you any delays on the part of the vendors for any fabrication delays. Vendor representatives' presence during the construction and testing phases. Vendor reps are always busy. Plan early for their scheduled requirements at site. Shy of that, expect schedule delays. Depending on how complex your project is, you may have to assign a portion of your planner to specifically track the vendor representatives' schedule at the site and also whether their availability remains confirmed on the days that you want them to be at the site. Subcontractor influences. If your project has many subcontractors, their activities need to be coordinated. Lack of progress by upstream contractors will impact downstream contractors. And if you are not careful, this can lead to nasty claims. Labor availability and labor productivity. We discussed this in Chapter 2, specifically pertaining to labor productivity with an assumption that labor will be available when needed and your company is directly responsible to source the labor. Here, we talk about the availability influenced by external factors such as demand from other facilities also working in your area who also need the same labor resources that you're looking for. Specifically, if the competition is from factories that have to shut down due to regularly scheduled maintenance or similar other reasons, failure to recognize this early enough will impact your project's schedule. Construction equipment availability. If your project needs special heavy haul equipment or shipping facilities, ensure their availability when your project needs it by planning well in advance. Failure to do this will cause schedule delays. Unusual weather or force majeure events. Today's scheduling software with a variety of bells and whistles will allow you to plan for drop in productivity due to heavy rainy or extreme summer or winter seasons. Skilled planners judiciously using these bells and whistles will help you to mitigate any adverse schedule impacts. Sorry, I couldn't devote much more space and time on these important topics in this short presentation. Do visit my website to get a copy of my book, where I discuss these topics at length. If you need to get in touch with me, please email me at vadamle01@gmail.com. Thank you.